Go ahead, Carol. Go to war.
Thank you, sir.
Amo, you magnificent bastard, I read your book!
Welcome back to the War Room. It's been a minute since I was doing one of these. I actually meant to have this out Sunday. Had some technical difficulties, so I'm just going to apologize in advance for that. But we got it ready. It's all ready to go. Camp has officially gotten underway. We are on day 2 today. I still got a ton of news to catch up with. I've been out of town at a meeting today. So today's War Room pretty, I think, accurately is going to be about Aaron Rodgers. Of course, you've got Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy back in the fold. So I think this is going to be an interesting logging too. We're just going to close out a couple things. So we got some lag going, obviously. Sorry. But I had a ton of issues with files getting corrupted and stuff when I was trying to create this. I should have had it out Sunday when I got everything done. So I'm giving everybody a minute to kind of get in here. Steel, Honda, what's up, buddy? Tyrone's always in. You are going to get some Aaron Rodgers breakdown. I actually broke this down a little bit differently than how I've been doing some of the other ones. Christine, what's up? Kevin? I tried to do a little bit of like good and bad in this one. Instead of just kind of letting everything play through by game, I decided to break these down a little bit differently. I shortened this up a little bit. Some of the stuff on YouTube is kind of crazy. We keep getting flagged. Nothing's getting banned, but we keep getting flagged. So I'm trying different things just to try to make this a little bit different. So hopefully they don't shadow ban us again. But Aaron Rodgers back in the fold. We know he's back. It's going to be a different offense. It's something he's used to. It's something that he prefers. And he and Mike McCarthy had some really good years together. Do we think that he's going to be back to being a prime MVP level Aaron Rodgers at his age? Probably not. But the idea today is going to be to break down and see, can he be better than what he was last year? We already know that this team won 10 games. Can he push them over the top and win 11 or even 12 games? Possibly. Who knows? We'll see. But the biggest thing is I wanted to see what's left in the tank. I want to know exactly what he's going to be able to do. The arm talent for Aaron Rodgers, everybody's talked about it. It's still there, right? I mean, we saw the bombs down the field that he would throw when he would unleash one last year. He was not short of arm talent last year. The legs aren't there like it used to be. But I think the biggest thing is we need to know, with the talent that we're starting to surround him with, I think all of you know at this point, I've done a film room on Rico Dowdle. I am very high on Rico Dowdle as a back. He and Jaylen Warren, I think, are going to be a dynamic duo in the backfield. The last year's biggest issue was all we had was DK Metcalf, and everybody knew how to take that away. You run too high safety, shade the safety clear over top of DK, and we don't care what anybody else on the field does because they can't get open, right? So what do? We go out and get Michael Pittman. There's a video coming on Michael Pittman. I've already got a little less than half of it done right now. I'm going to break him down next and show everybody why I'm so excited and high on Michael Pittman as well. He's being slept on right now. Michael Pittman is absolutely being slept on in this wide receiver room. The things that he is very good at is going to complement DK Metcalf so much. And I think it's going to really help unlock DK's game. Aside from the fact that DK last year was used primarily as a decoy, it felt like, half of the season. And that's the other thing. If he's the main focal point, and we've already heard Mike McCarthy talking about how they need to get the ball in DK's hands, that is going to be something that is absolutely going to unlock this offense to be more explosive than what it was last year. And the rare opportunities we did get him the ball in catch and run situations, you saw what he could do. He can go. I mean, he can go with the best of them. He uses that big frame in the open field, breaks tackles. breaks away from guys with that speed that he has. We got to give him opportunities. So outside of Pittman, what else did you need? We go out and get Jeremy Bernard. Now, I know some of you in the chat were very high on the Jeremy Bernard, much higher than I was. I like the pick out of the slot. I think that he's got some potential there. I kind of went back because you guys were all so high that I had to I got to double check and question myself because maybe I'm missing something. I understand the ins and out breaks that he's got out of the slot, the things he's going to be able to do, getting open quickly, which is what Aaron prefers. DMC, we're doing a show, buddy. I didn't check the messages. Yeah, I don't have time for all that. I'm not going to be able to upload that. I appreciate it, though. That looks pretty badass. But Bernard's going to be able to get open quickly. That's something that when you saw some of the guys that Aaron really trusted in his career, it goes back to guys like Randall Cobb. It goes back to Devontae Adams. Like guys who could win quick off the line of scrimmage and give Aaron a good place to put the ball. So I'm really excited about what he's going to bring to this offense. DMC sending me the stats because I forgot to tell him to put the slide up for the stat. That was my bad. I didn't tell him to do it. Like I said, this kind of got thrown together last second because I was having some issues. So I like what Jeremy Bernard has the potential to bring to this offense. He's still a rookie. He's going to go through bumps and bruises. We're going to have to wait and see what he does. But Roman Wilson, who is this guy right now? Is he going to be the guy who figures it out in year 3 and steps up? If Bernard is what everybody's trying to make him out to be, then Roman Wilson just has to be a really good wide receiver 4, and it should take all of the pressure off of him. And to be perfectly honest with you, if we could get Roman Wilson to play the MVS role from Green Bay, not the last year MVS, we don't need that guy. But if he can be the MVS player from Green Bay and just stretch the field for this offense, because outside of DK, you don't have a stretch the field guy. I've mentioned that a few times already. But what is someone else going to be able to do to help this offense be, as we heard Mike McCarthy talk about, explosive plays? We know DK's got that in the bag. That is not part of Pittman's game. He's not going to be explosive. Can Bernard be explosive? I think with the ball in his hands after the catch, yes. Is he a downfield threat to be explosive? I'm not sold on that yet, but we'll see. Maybe he turns into a guy like that, maybe not. But Roman Wilson with 4.39 speed absolutely can bring some explosive to this. And maybe they utilize him the same way that we all thought they would try to use Calvin Austin, right? Maybe he's hitting the seams up the middle when we're in spread looks. Maybe he's running down the sidelines. Maybe we wheel route him up the sideline out of the slot. Maybe we send him in motion like they did in Michigan all the time. There's some potential here for this offense if he can play and actually run the routes he's supposed to. He could be a guy that really helps this offense go. Okay, I'm not going to say he's going to go out there and get 600 yards and 7 touchdowns. We're not talking anything crazy. Roman needs to be able to take the top off of the defense. And when they run those split safety looks, he needs to be able to be a guy who, when you're trying to get DK up the sideline, he's got to be running right up the middle between the safeties in either like a deep post route or just a straight fly pattern, straight up the middle. Let him go up the gut and draw the safeties back toward the middle of the field and respect his speed. If he's able to at least do that, that's going to help open the offense up. Now, you're going to have to hit him on a couple of those balls here and there. And he's got to be able to be relied upon to do that and make those catches and get yards after the catch and not dive over the top of somebody in the middle of a freaking running the clock out situation and fumble. Like, he just has to play smart football and be a wide receiver 4. If he can do that, he does help open this offense up a little bit. So the more that we're getting into this, and maybe it's just because football's back, I'm getting a little more excited about things. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the film first. Let me get my screen pulled up here. And get my notes as well. All right. First thing I want to point out, and a big thing that I think that we need to have changed, is I'll read through some stats here real quick. So in 16 games last year, Aaron Rodgers was 10-6. He had a 65.7% completion percentage. It's slightly higher than what his career average was. The other thing is he threw for 3,322 yards. I don't think a lot of people would have realized that at the time, but the reality is he did throw for 3,322 yards. It was only 6.7 yards per attempt, which is almost a full yard shy of what his career is. 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. We all kind of know the number. I think the biggest thing to me is that he did not have a single game last year with 300 yards passing. Not one. I need to see that change because we need to see an Aaron Rodgers who can help carry this team at times and win us some ball games by being the man. He's got to be the guy at times. And so I think we're going to see in the film there is potential to do that. All right. So this is not working on my phone. All right, we're going to ditch the phone. We're sticking with the notes on the screen. I need to see a 300-yard game out of Aaron Rodgers. Let's figure out how that could possibly happen. So right here, this is week 14. This is Baltimore. He still has a very live arm. Okay, so what we're going to watch, you've got an offset back down here with Jaylen Warren. We're going to give kind of a little half-assed fake toss. You've got 3 guys lined up out here in a little bit of a bunch look down at the bottom of the screen. So they're going to try to give a read as if this is going to be a toss to the outside and think that maybe Baltimore doesn't have the numbers to match up with it. The problem is what ends up happening is you ISO DK one-on-one with Marlon Humphrey. Let's play this thing and let it roll out. So right here, there's the fake toss. And immediately Aaron's eyes are going to the safety. The safety is straight into the middle of the field. So he knows from this point here that this safety probably is not going to get over the top to DK Metcalf. You're going to see him work over to DK Metcalf right here. And he knows DK has a step. Humphrey's not in terrible position. But if you just paid this man $33 million, I need you to go get this ball. And Aaron has a little pressure coming off the edge here. This is actually McCormick, so not off the edge. But Aaron's going to just go ahead and let this thing rip. I wanted to see more of this last year. We didn't. He didn't trust some of the offensive line. He didn't trust some of the receivers. But he's going to let this thing fly. And just look at that. I mean, he puts that ball out in front of everybody. The safety cannot get over there because the ball not only is just underneath here, which is what we've seen at times from like a Kenny Pickett type arm. You know, he'll lay it out there, or it's a back shoulder thing, or Mason Rudolph will lay one out there at times, but he ain't putting it this far out in front. And then DK just pulls out ahead. And we're going to see this again from the other angle now. As you see Aaron reading the defense, he knows what he has right here. So as soon as he does this fake toss, you get a backer held. Everybody's working over here. Aaron is looking straight up at that safety. You can see the foot of the safety right here at the top of the screen. He knows right there this is over. Just unleashes that ball. Great. I mean, he gets so much movement out of his lower body that helps drive in the ball. Even if he throws off that back foot that drives everybody crazy. But the fact that he's able to drive that ball downfield past the safety and past the defender. DMC, do we have a special appearance here, buddy? I don't know if DMC is joining in here. Sorry. I'm having a hard time watching the chat because my phone's not picking up the notes, and I was going to use my phone for the notes, but it's just not working. There's DMC's got the slide. This was the slide that I was going to have him create that shows some of the statistics. This pulling from PFF, so it shows that the 68.7 overall grade. We kind of read through some of these stats, but this right here, you could see the yards per game never quite eclipsed the 300-yard mark. He got close a couple of different times. The Baltimore games, he played very well. So you're going to see some Baltimore film on here. But never quite pushed over the top with some of those. So, yeah, absolutely. Chat, I'm going to be having a hard time picking up where you guys are at right now. So we're going to pick this back up from where we just left off. So again, big play downfield. Why my phone will not allow me to open this is driving me a little bit crazy, because I would be able to read the chat a little bit better. Anyway, we're going to move on. So we're going to move on to this game. We're down in the red zone, obviously inside the 5-yard line right here. This is another play where you've got DK completely ISO'd on the outside. Aaron's checking this. Everything's out in front of him. He knows he's got a one-on-one with DK Metcalf, and he's going to just try to trust him here. So as you see this play develop, right off the bat, there is no hesitation right here. My man is one-on-one. This is my number one receiver. I trust him. I'm going to throw this ball. But here's what I want you to see. Marlon's in pretty good coverage. Or that actually, is that Kyle Hamilton? I can't tell the number. I think it's Marlon Humphrey. But I'm just going to put the ball out here. Watch his pinpoint accuracy here. As this gets out there, that is only where DK Metcalf is able to catch that ball. Only DK could catch that ball where it was. We're going to watch it from the other angle so you can kind of see the ball placement here. Right there. Up, out and away to a 6'4" wide receiver. Again, the DB's in good coverage. But this is just trusting your guy to go make a play. This is one of those things where sometimes DK Metcalf does not have great contested catches. He's just, that's not the biggest part of his game. I would like to see him come down with that ball right there. I know it's a tough catch. It was good coverage, all of those things. But man, from a gamer perspective, from a number one receiver perspective, from a guy who really should be well ahead on that opportunity right there, like with his talents and his size and his strength and all those things, like I would love to see him squeeze that thing in. That kind of bothers me a little bit with DK. It's just kind of the give and take that you're going to give with him. So, you know, again, I thought it was perfect placement on the ball. Should have been 6 right there. Didn't quite get it done. And I think that was actually the drive where Aaron scrambles and runs for a touchdown that does the discount double check. So right here, this is another thing. Now, the Ravens didn't have a good pass rush. This is the intelligence of Aaron Rodgers understanding they don't have a good pass rush. He would hold the ball more in this game. So this is a play where he's going to step up in the pocket. He can create if the moment is right. He cannot create very often anymore, but he still has enough awareness to step up in the pocket and then slide. And you're going to see that right here. So as this play, he's going to check his protection right there. He slides Jalen over. And right here, you're going to see the Ravens bring in 5. They thought at this point, Aaron's too slow. He can't get out. Our receivers can't get open. They have 200 people down here for anybody who's going to be coming off this edge down here. And then you've got Darnell Washington on the other side of the field, a slower tight end and not a great route runner. I love Darnell, but that's not his forte. So right here, your tackle's beat. You've got a rusher right in the face of Aaron Rodgers. 9 times out of 10, you think he's done right there, but watch what he does. He feels it, ducks underneath of it, and now he's going to slide outside because he knows he's got 2 big men in right here. Wasn't a great effort by the tackle. So now he's outside. He gives himself some space right here because he knows he has the arm talent to make any throw. Calvin Austin is down here. So Cal creates a little bit of space. Aaron sees that space, delivers a perfect ball. Any good wide receiver stays in bounds on this because, look, he's got some room. He can work back to the ball further. He can just sit on the sidelines. He's got probably a half yard between him and the sideline right here. But, of course, Calvin Austin does what Calvin Austin does, and he goes completely out of bounds. We're going to see this from the other look. Again, you're going to see the pressure come off the edge. Falatonu just gets absolutely cooked on this one. This was not his best rep of the season. So here's where they're sliding the protections. You're going to see the pressure come off the edge. Falatonu does not set outside very well. Rodgers still evades. Look at the eyes. Just staying right there. And that's a pinpoint accuracy pass. That's a good ball, honestly. That is a very good ball. Calvin Austin, again, that's another catch where Aaron got let down. You got to catch that ball right there on the sideline. And you got to be able to find a way to stay in bounds. Like, he makes the catch, but like, hell, both feet were out of bounds on that play. Not just one, it was both. So that part, again, it kind of irritates you. That was a third down. We ended up punting after that. So even though he's on the run, great ball placement right there. Aaron still has those things in his bag with the arm. Now on this one right here, you're going to see DK lined up in the slot initially, and we're going to bring motion down across. So this is more of a play of seeing Aaron's anticipation, how he plays with anticipation. We're going to let this play out a little bit. Watch DK again. So now that you bring everybody in motion, you saw a defender trailing with him. You see the split safety look right here. You've got one safety heading all the way out because he's going to have the coverage out here. You've got outside leverage. You've got a linebacker not dropping very well right now. Aaron sees all of this. As you're watching, he's got the play action, but he's seeing all of this on this side of the field right here. So immediately he sees this. He's setting. You've got DK right here, and he sees the space right here. Again, this is where I'm going to point out DK's not a great route runner. This is something that I hope he improves this offseason, because look where Aaron goes with this ball. Right to that opening. Now, if DK snaps this back just a little bit right there inside of this linebacker, and this is route recognition from a receiver standpoint, you have to understand that as that man is dropping from here, and he is coming out just a little bit and dropping back, the safety was going out here. DK sees that stuff. He needs to snap this back toward the middle where that ocean was. Instead, he doesn't. Aaron still puts the ball on the money, and DK can't come up with it. That's just one of those things. We're going to watch it from the other angle. That stuff drives you crazy about DK Metcalf at times. It's a talent. Look at the linebacker. He's just dropping. He was coming outside. Aaron sees this. He throws right through the throwing lane with great anticipation. Again, he doesn't even have everything behind this ball because he's got a little bit of pressure coming up the middle in his face. And just delivers an absolute strike. And if DK breaks that off a little bit further, I'm being a little tough on DK right now, but you're a $30 million receiver, okay? These are some catches we need you to make, buddy. But again, if he runs a better route right there, a little bit more crisp on that cut in instead of running it as a post, which I'm sure that's what the play called for, but sometimes you got to watch the coverage and just understand where the zone is. It's a zone. You got to understand where the zone is. Yeah, I agree with that too. Sorry, Chad. I'm having a hard time kind of keeping up with you guys with this. Wetchin's going to be a sleeper. But it's just one of those things that Aaron's playing with the right anticipation. That's the right throw. That's not a throw where I think that it's going to be something where that's on Aaron. He put the ball too far up. No, Aaron put the ball exactly where it should have went against that zone defense. DK's got to recognize better. And maybe this is part of the communication stuff that DK felt better with Aaron. He knows now a little bit more about where he wants to break on a play like that, as opposed to last year where they're just trying to get their feel. Again, Aaron signed a little bit late. They didn't get as much time working together. Maybe now this offseason they have been able to work together. Aaron signed earlier. We'll see what happens. But I need DK to step up the route running number one and the catching, dude. You can't be dropping balls like he did last year. Now on this play right here, this is another DK Metcalf thing. All right, so we're going to have DK. He's isolated one-on-one. This is Wiggins down here this time. This is not Marlon Humphrey. So this is the speed guy. You've still got the split safety look up here up top in the cover two. And what you're going to see on this play is this isolation. Now you see the safety kind of dropping a little bit down towards this side because, of course, you still got Calvin Austin underneath in the slot. But DK and Aaron's arm talent is ridiculous. So now as we motion back out, see, this is the intelligence of Aaron Rodgers again. He knows where he wants to go with the ball. You motion the man all the way out. It draws the second safety up because somebody's got to guard. You got to match up one-on-one down here, right? You need all three of these guys. Now this safety cannot shade all the way over. He's got to come back toward the middle because if one of these guys break, he's the only guy left. Aaron recognizes that. It's all man across the board. And I'm going to give my guy a shot. So right here, DK had just started to beat his man when Aaron's already releasing the ball. He sees this opening down here. You got a safety, and Malachi Starks is a pretty talented young player. Didn't play as well as I think he's capable of this past year. Wasn't bad at all, but he wasn't playing as well as he's capable of. Aaron just trusts this throw. This is all arm talent right here. Whole shot between the safety and the corner. I mean, that's a great play. I'm going to play that one all the way through real quick here. We're just going to watch this whole shot all the way through start to finish. Again, motioning the man out because he knows it pulls coverage. And you see that's probably 2 yards step back over toward the middle of the field right there, and that's all he needed. Because look at that. If he doesn't motion the man out, that play is not a completion. The opening isn't there. So that's intelligence from Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes that's a design thing. Sometimes it's a quarterback reading a defense. And this is the thing. The intelligence and the arm talent are both still there with Aaron Rodgers. You cannot argue that, and you can't deny it, man. He's so talented when it comes to the between the shoulder stuff with his mind and just what he's got able to do with his arm talent still, even at his age. It hasn't fallen off. If it's fallen off at all since Green Bay, it's not very much. I'll tell you that right now. Now, I don't know if Vaughn's in here or not, but there will be no Benny Skro slander. Benny Skowronek gets on the video. So on this one, we're going to watch Aaron try to buy a little bit of time right here, right? So initially, there's not much here. You've got a man in the middle of the field. He could have maybe tried to get a check down here. Not going to get you a whole lot. You've also got Roquan starting to close on this already. Let's be honest, this dude was completely worthless all season. You could have maybe tried to swing out here to Jalen, let Jalen create. You've got nothing over the top. Skowronek's not open down here on the bottom. You got Hamilton playing about underneath of him. So what's Aaron going to do? He's just going to motion, and he starts directing traffic. Immediately as soon as he starts moving, he's directing traffic. Now you put Hamilton in a bind because guess what? There ain't nobody out here. And even Aaron's slow, but it's second down. You can see it on the marker right here. There's a ton of real estate. If he stays on his man, you're going to give an easy 5 to 6 yards, even to a slow Aaron Rodgers right here on this play. So Hamilton's going to step up a little bit with Aaron. Aaron's going to read it. Again, arm talent, accuracy. Skowronek's open. He creates something out of nothing on this play by just keeping it alive. Throws it inside as Humphrey was coming outside to go get this ball, thinking it's going to throw to the sideline. Aaron says, "Nuh-uh, we ain't going to the sideline. We're going to throw it right inside." Ben Skowronek's a big receiver. Give him a chance. Benny Skowronek makes the play. We're going to see this one from the other side. I'll let this one play straight through this time. So again, it's just there's nothing. He's going through progressions, reads, gets outside. He knows he's got time. Great throw. And that's just, again, that ball snaps out of his hand still. Like, he's not slow with the ball at all. So I love what he does here. And then we've got 2 more on the good here. So on this play here, this is something we could see, not necessarily out of the 12 personnel, but the play action pass game should be opening up under Mike McCarthy this year. So what you're going to see is Darnell Washington coming in motion. Everybody knows who he is off the snap. You've got Jaylen Warren in the backfield. Play action. Where's the defense? Okay. I got a guy coming, untouched, unblocked. Covered. But here's my man, my $33 million man, DK Metcalf, coming on a crossing route against the linebacker one-on-one. What am I going to do? Just fade back a little, give my guy time, deliver the ball, yak. And I think the biggest thing about this play isn't just the fact that he delivers the ball. He takes his time, drifts right there. Instead of flattening this thing out and coming down here, he knows he's got an unblocked man. He just kind of drifts out. I've got the arm talent to get this ball out there. But not only do I have to get it out there with pressure coming in my face, I'm going to lay it out there perfect. Perfect catchable ball, catch and run situation. DK Metcalf is an absolute specimen, and you want the ball in his hands as much as possible. So we're going to see this from the other angle. I'll play straight through here. Here comes Darnell off the motion. He sees the linebackers shifting. Great play. This was actually a good play designed by Arthur Smith on this one. Probably should have done this a little more often. And then we've got one more out of the good series here. So Aaron Rodgers also, when he's in shotgun, he works best out of the spread. And he worked the best out of the spread last year, especially with, not a very dynamic offense to begin with. It's just something where his play recognition, his ability to read defenses is still such an elite level. You're going to see a ton of crossing patterns on this one. I love this play. I love crossers, first of all. And I hope we start running a lot more of it. So you got Roman Wilson up here. You've got Darnell Washington here. You got DK Metcalf, who we've highlighted quite a bit here. And you got Calvin Austin. Now, right now, the Bengals look like they're in a pretty good shell right now. There's nowhere to go with the ball, and nobody's even looking for the ball because we just got the snap, right? But Aaron's already reading and diagnosing everything in front of him. He starts going through progressions. And right here, log jam in the middle of the field. You've got, does this linebacker go get him, or does he try to stay here? And I think you guys are going to know the result of this play as we let it play through. Aaron sees where the opening is, and he just dumps it to the guy who's got the best chance to make a catch and run. And this is the play that we all loved as Steelers fans last year. The big man rumbling down the sidelines. 311 pounds coming for a couple of DBs. You got to love it. So that was the good. Right? Actually, you know what? I love Darnell. We're gonna let Darnell run one more time because it's just too good to pass up on. So let's get some more Darnell love in here real quick. Just give him the ball in open space against linebackers. Bye. DBs, no. Another DB, no. I mean, I just love that play. I love Darnell. All right, so now we've seen a lot of good. Okay, let's see what some of the bad is. Right, the first play here is going to be another play where he gets pressure in his face. So it's an open backfield look. You can see Kenny Gainwell spread out here in this kind of like, I don't even know what you would call this wing back set right now. He's not inside. He's not offset. So this is more of a wing back look for him out there behind Calvin Austin. But you got the Ravens lined up with some odd pressures across the front. And I think Aaron thinks the pressure's coming on this play. But it's not, right? It's a three-man front with, for some ungodly known reason, they have a spy. I don't know if they thought Aaron was going to torch him for another touchdown run, but not likely, right? So Aaron still gets pressure because Andres Pete is 267 years old playing left tackle for us after, basically not playing for 2 seasons. But he's got nowhere to go with the ball. The Ravens have this covered up. Kenny Gainwell's probably the most open person on this play right now. But again, you've got the pressure off the edge. I got to evade the pressure first before I can get to a throwing lane. And right here, again, covered up everywhere but Kenny Gainwell. Aaron's got to regain his composure. This is where kind of the body breaking down in his age and maybe not understanding his limitations come in. But he escapes. He tries to reset and throw this ball, but doesn't get the hips flipped all the way around. There's no power drive behind the ball. He's just not quite athletic to do that quickly at this stage of his career and understand that he can't make this play anymore. You're going to see it from the other angle. Again, you're going to get I think this was Mike Green, if I'm not mistaken, coming off the edge. Right? Little trip up, tries to get it, can't, flips the hips around and can't. That's kind of old age. Again, that's not an arm talent issue. Even though the ball comes out weak, it's more of the not being able to get the body flipped around, the hips flipped around to make that throw with some torque behind it and some accuracy. Looks like a logo you'd make in Microsoft Paint. What? But, I mean, that'd have been a pretty amazing touchdown if he was able to pull that off. Just not able to do it in that situation. That's just maybe kind of the older body. And at that point, I didn't feel like he kind of understood that he has some of the limitations. You can tell at times he's still playing as if he's a younger player where he can kind of pull some things off here. So, This one here is an opportunity, I think, that we need to get corrected. If you're looking at this thing, I want you to watch Pat Freiermuth right here. This Aaron gets to the checkdowns way too quickly at times. Part of it is because he doesn't completely trust the offensive line. Part of it was he didn't trust the receiver core either. But if you watch this play unfold, you're going to bring the motion back. That tells Aaron he's got man-to-man coverage, obviously. Everybody knows that. When you motion a man and somebody trails, and then he comes back to settle down, and that guy is right on side of him, you got man coverage. It's man across the board. You've got your safeties down. You've got a double mug look up in the middle here, and you've actually got Kyle Hamilton in the middle of that, who is a good blitzer as well. And you've got Jalen Warren in the backfield. So he thinks he's outnumbered up front. Okay? The problem is Gillum is the safety over top of Pat Freiermuth. He does not read this very well. Look at Pat Freiermuth. That is a walk-in touchdown. But where is Aaron going with the ball right now? He's going to Jalen Warren because he sees, I got 3 guys and 2 blockers, and I have to get the ball out quick. He totally bails on any progressions and just throws a check down. The safety jumps here. He does not carry Pat Freiermuth downfield. Now, as I let this thing play out, it turns out to be okay because Jalen Warren beats him to the spot and beats everyone to the end zone. This is a touchdown, right? You would think, oh, that's a win. We got a touchdown. But I'm sorry, if I got a man running straight down the middle of the field with no one, you got to deliver that ball, man. You can't completely bail on progressions. Muth had an easy walk-in touchdown right there. Easy walk-in touchdown. That's the kind of thing that really irked me last year watching him play and just how he got that thing out. And we're going to watch it again from the other angle. I understand you've got all these guys down here in the box. You know a blitz is coming of some sort. You want to try to get it out quick, but man, I mean, how do you not see that? And then Pat, to his credit, he's not going to whine and pout, and I'm going to get out here and see if I have to block anybody. But and Jalen does score. It worked. It is whatever. I would like to see him still not totally bail to a check down immediately out of those looks because that was an easy walk-in touchdown for Pat as well. Now, this was a play where at times Aaron saw ghosts. Okay. He saw ghosts. I think this is more of the old age that everybody remembers the Chargers game. I assume it did not go well, right? This is week 10 against the Chargers. He trusts his athletic ability a little bit too much. He also jumps the gun a little bit. What the hell I got in my mouth here? Got a hair of some sort. This is right here. We're good here. We're good here. You got a man who can come free, but you've also got a lineman waiting on him right here. And you got Fautanu locked up. Okay? Aaron is looking to his left. He's looking for Pat to come open underneath, right? Didn't like the look because he thinks Khalil Mack beats Troy Fautanu. So what's he do? He steps up. Instead of planting his foot and driving this ball right here, which had he planted his foot and just drove the ball right here, he's got a completion. But instead, he's worried about the pass rush, which at this point is still 2.5, 3 maybe yards away. So what's he do? He steps up. Well, what did you do when you stepped up? You just hung your tackle out to dry because your tackle was getting ready to run this dude all the way around the gauntlet on you. But he jumps to the corner, stops him. Once Max sees Aaron step up, he just spins right off of it. And there's nothing Fautanu can do on this. And then Aaron, instead of at least throwing it at the feet, well, he can't really throw it now, but trying to get rid of it to somebody's feet, create an incompletion, he tries to go backwards and get out of this. It does not end well. He trusts his athletic ability that is gone a little bit too much. Again, watch the ISO right here. But Fautanu's in good position. If Aaron doesn't step up, he's in good position against Mac right there. He just does not trust him in that situation. Ran himself into that safety and that sack. Because even if you're going to step up, go left. There was nowhere for anybody else to get him out to the left. So, again, I'm not going to kill Aaron for every sack he took, but there were definitely times last year I felt like he took some unnecessary sacks. Had he planted his back foot and just drove the ball to Freiermuth anyway, Muth came open underneath. And you could see as the play was unfolding. We're looking at this slower, freeze framing it and stopping it and all this stuff. But at the same time, man, you've got to be able to take that and be able to win off of that route that Muth comes open on. So here's a situation where we were struggling, right? This is a little later in the game. I felt like Aaron got frustrated and he started just spinning the clock forward a little bit in his head. Okay. You'll see it on this play. Muth comes in motion. You've got DK down here isolated, right? And because he's speeding the clock up in his head, I think he's starting to predetermine that I'm going to give my guy a chance. This looks like a zone, right? You've got a guy on outside shade. You've got too high safety, outside shade. This is a zone trying to keep everything out in front of them. So as we play this thing through, Hart steps up. DK wins. But here's the problem. The linebacker's dropping. Okay? Hart's not staying here. Hart's looking here. He's got this outside flat responsibility. The linebacker's carrying DK upfield, and he's got his man over the top for help. Aaron right here had already, he doesn't even look anywhere else. Because guess what? Gainwell wasn't even running out here on the flat. Gainwell's running back up underneath, right? He's getting a little angle route right here underneath all of this action. This ball could have gone right here for a completion and let Kenny Gainwell make something out of this play. Instead, we predetermine the read. We predetermine the throw. We fit it into a window that just isn't there. It's an overthrow and an interception. Can't put that on DK Metcalf, right? Watch Kenny Gainwell out of the backfield. This is an easy dump-off play. Gainwell's wide open. Does he get 10 yards out of that? Maybe not. But he gets 5. Right? And who knows? Maybe Gainwell, we saw times where Gainwell made plays. And maybe he breaks that first tackle. And maybe he slips through the linebacker. That was a horrible throw. That was I think I just saw somebody say it in the chat. Yeah, loyal. This definitely might have been the worst one. That was the worst throw he made all season. So, we'll see. We'll jump into the next play here. That was a horrible throw from him on that one. So, this was a tough play. I'm going to be honest with you. I flirted with whether or not to even put this one in the bad category. This is a little bit nitpicky. I'm going to be admitting that one right up front here. So you've got a spread again. You're bringing the second tight end in motion down here to get 2 down here with DK Metcalf because, of course, Metcalf's getting the double coverage over the top. So bringing a guy down here across, they're going to have James following, but they're hoping to try to pull this safety back away from DK Metcalf. The thing that I want you to keep an eye on right here is the matchup right here with Calvin Austin. Okay? As this play goes, the Chargers get pressure. All right? Aaron's looking left. So this is why I'm telling you to keep an eye on this. And this is why I put this in here. He's already looking left. You've got Pat going out here to the flat on a little out route. You've got Cal working back across here. And he's going to cross right into the middle of the field here. Right? He looks covered. But look at the room that he still has at this point in time. He's already determined the ball's going out here to Gainwell. Okay? He's got an unblocked man. So I'm not trying to kill Aaron for this one. But had he waited a half second more, which you have right here, you have a half second, you can see that Cal's starting to open up. There was a window right here to deliver that ball. Would it have been a touchdown? I don't know. Would it have been a completion or catch or any of the above? Who knows, right? This one's a little nitpicky. Like I said, I'm going to admit that. It's an overthrow. He has the pressure there. I don't know if you guys think that one is a bad play on his standpoint, but I just thought that was, how do you at least give your guy a chance for a touchdown there instead of just airmailing a ball out to Kenny Gainwell and seeing what he can do. So then we're going to move back to the Bengals week. Okay, so we're back to the Bengals. It's another scenario where I just feel like Aaron doesn't want to stand and deliver the ball. Okay, so you got Aaron in here. You've got, of course, the 12 personnel look. But the other thing is it's the jumbo look where we have Jonnu Smith spread out with an extra lineman and Darnell Washington. So it's basically DK Metcalf is the only guy on the field, right? So they're trying to set up a look where the defense thinks this is going to be a run. But where I want you to keep your eyes is on this matchup right here. DK Metcalf at the top of the screen wins this route. Aaron does not wait for it, but this is why I don't like this play. Play action, right? This is what Aaron can do very well. Play action. Where's his first read? He's looking at DK. Now, DK is running this little out and up. All right? So as DK is selling the out, the defender is turned completely the wrong way. So what's he going to do? He's going to try to adjust and flip his hips, right? So there it is. Flips the hips. DK doesn't run up the sideline right here, though, right? DK is going to cut up underneath of him because now he's flipped completely backwards, and there is a 0% chance that this dude can make a play on the ball. So now it's down to, can this safety cover that much ground? We've seen in a video earlier, Aaron can make this throw and lay this out there for DK Metcalf. This is a touchdown if he throws this ball. He's looking at him. This is what irritates me, is he sees all these things happening right here, right? But he holds the ball, doesn't want to let that thing go. Pressure's coming. He gets too worried about the pressure instead of just delivering the strike. And now what's he got? Jaylen Warren or Darnell? And what's he going to do? Just flip one away. That to me is kind of irritating about his game because I think that was a touchdown. That was a touchdown to DK Metcalf. Had he just held the ball just long enough and just delivered the ball and trusted it, that was a touchdown. So that made my bad list just because I think that was the right read. He saw it. He just didn't want to let it go. It got a little too antsy with the edge coming off. Instead of standing in and delivering that ball and maybe taking a hit, he may not even got hit if he delivers it on time. But instead of maybe taking a hit and delivering the ball, he pulls it down and runs, and then it's an incomplete pass. So this is another play where I thought at times he has a tendency to force the ball to DK Metcalf. So you're going to see DK running out of the slot right here. You got Benny Scrow coming in motion, which leaves Roman and DK. All right. So now right here off the snap, another play action. They did this quite a bit to the Bengals because we had success running the ball a little bit, enough to threaten it at least. Aaron's already starting to see. I got straight drops here. I'm in man-to-man across the board. I'm going to give my guy a shot, right? We've seen him at times do this, but I've also saw the Chargers game where he forces this ball, right? He's throwing this to DK Metcalf. He's blanketed at this point. Roman coming on this little inside breaking route comes open. We predetermined the ball was going to DK Metcalf right there, trying to give him a chance. Dax Hill is a very fast player. I think he ran like a 4.28 or something. Able to stay with DK, keep that ground, and make a play. And then the last play that I have right here. This is the lack of trust that he has in the young guys. Okay? Some of you probably will remember this once I start playing it. Roman Wilson. We all know the story with Roman Wilson. You got the Bills going to be on a man-to-man across the board. They ran a lot of man-to-man against us because they did not respect our receiving corps at all. You got Roman one-on-one in press coverage. Now, this was something I was worried about with Roman Wilson coming out. There's a complete lack of chemistry because Rodgers didn't trust him. He didn't throw him the ball. He didn't want to give it to him. He didn't want to go look his way at all, right? But this is the one time where he does. Now, Roman does exactly what he should do as a receiver right here. Okay. Do you see the jab inside to get the defender to take that one step, and then he releases up the sideline? Okay. When you're trying to win deep and you've got a head up man coverage, he takes that slight jab inside and then he wins this route. Look at this. He's cooked. I mean, the DB is absolutely cooked right here. The safety's way too far in the middle of the field to go get this ball. He's not going to be able to make up that ground. And Aaron mails it outside. Now, would Aaron rather him run all the way up the sideline to make that play? Maybe, but I feel like Roman did a good job of giving himself a couple of yards to the sideline where he still had room to work, and he had plenty of space between he and the safety. If Aaron just went upfield and delivered this ball on time and in rhythm, that's a touchdown. To me, that simply was a lack of just the chemistry, right? I mean, if he puts that upfield and on the money, that's a touchdown to Roman Wilson, because I don't think the safety can catch him. So, there's some good, there's some bad. I think some of the things that I find encouraging in this film, though, that I went through is, number one, you have a second year with guys like Roman, Darnell, Pat, DK, right? That's the receiver core that's coming back. The guys that he's thrown to, he's got familiarity with Jaylen Warren. Another year behind the same 3 of the 5 offensive linemen, and Spencer Anderson played a little bit. So he's got some familiarity with these guys. You're in year 2 of the same place. I think that he settles in a little bit more. The arm talent is 100% still there. There's no doubt about that. His arm talent is as good as it gets. He's still one of the most talented guys in the NFL with his arm. Having better weapons, as Tyrone is pointing out right now, should open this thing up for Aaron Rodgers to play with more confidence, not check the ball down as fast as he was, and to just get the ball in the playmaker's hands. McCarthy's system is designed to get the ball out of his hand quickly with quick winning routes. That's what Aaron wants to do. It's what he likes to do. You've got some guys here where I think that's something you're capable of doing. Pittman's going to be a really good contest catch guy, a tough catch guy over the middle. He will run every route on the tree. He's not a great deep threat, but I mean, there's times you can lay it out there because of his size as well and let him go make a play on the ball. The weapons are absolutely better. So if you have high hopes for Aaron Rodgers, man, the weapons got a lot better around him. And I think there's a really good chance that he has a much better season this season. Is he going to throw for 4,500 yards and like 40 touchdowns? No, we're not going to go there, right? We still got a brutal division. The Bengals are going to be better. The Ravens are always going to be predicted to be right in the thick of things. But I tell you what, if you get a good Aaron Rodgers, not a great, just a good Aaron Rodgers, this team can go at least to the playoff. And they have a threat to win a game with the talent on this roster. And if you got Patrick Graham whipping this defense back into shape and they start playing back to form, playing the way that they're getting paid, the offense doesn't have to do that much. But here's the crazy thing. Our offense scored at a pretty good clip last year if you look at it. And if you have a better system around Aaron Rodgers with better weapons, I don't know if it's insane to say this could be a top 12 to maybe stretch goal of top 10 offense. That might be a stretch goal, but I don't think it's insane. So, listen, if he got 3,300 yards in the offense with that weapon group that he had last year, 35 definitely isn't out of the question. Tyrone saying 3,900 yards, 30-8. Yeah. Top 13 offense. I could absolutely see that for sure. Easily. McCarthy's going to be aggressive also, and that's the other thing. Tomlin was let's take the safe play. Let's get it on Boz's foot. Let's let Boz put one through the uprights. You're not going to see that as much with McCarthy. He will go for the short fourth yardage, 4th and 1s, 4th and 2s when we're on the plus side of the 50. He's going to trust the quarterback that he has to go make plays. And as long as the quarterback trusts the guys around him, we could see a much better offense than what we've seen for quite a long time at this point. So I think the big things for Aaron is don't predetermine your throws because you have more weapons than just DK Metcalf now. The second thing is don't trust your athletic ability because you don't have it anymore, dude. Like, you barely outran a 330-pound dude to the goal line last year. Let's not try that. Let's get these weapons the ball and let them do the work. Aaron does that. I think our offense is going to be fine. Tyrone, that Pittman film, I'm going to grind it out this weekend. I don't know if I'll be able to put it out by this weekend, but I'll have it out at least by next week or possibly in the next weekend. So I'm excited about the Pittman film because I just think people were sleeping on him. I've been super high on him for a long time. So I like the player. Other than that, chat, you guys were fantastic. Sorry that I really had a hard time keeping up with the chat, reading notes, and going through the film. It's kind of crazy to try with just me by myself. I'm not great at that part. I'll try to get better at it though. But you guys were fantastic as usual. Appreciate you looking at this. I hope this gives you some insights. I'm not trying to sway you one way or another on Aaron Rodgers. There's potential there. So if you're a Steelers fan, there's a reason to be hopeful. Reason to be hopeful this year that Aaron's going to bounce back, not be an MVP, but he's going to bounce back and be better than what he was last year. There's a lot of people think he was a middle of the road quarterback last year. I thought he wasn't personally, but like, hey, if you're in that crowd, you should be really excited about what's coming this year because it's going to get better. So appreciate everybody watching. This is kind of like a little bonus episode for the week. Camp's going. I got to go catch up on all my news. We will be back tomorrow. I think we have all three of us here. I think TMC says his boy does not have a baseball game, so I think the three of us should all be on. We'll be talking more camp, more ball, talk about some of these rookies and what they're doing so far. Be talking about some of these additions that maybe we haven't gotten to talk about a lot yet. I haven't heard a lot about Sebastian Joseph Day. I know they've got Y.A. Black playing on the nose. He's kind of second string nose right now. Excited to see what that young man can do playing in a position that probably suits him the best. Get Keanu Benton out on that DN spot, man. That dude, he's needed that for so long. If he can explode off there, he's going to have a monster season, absolute monster season from that spot if he keeps playing in the DN role. So appreciate you guys all tuning in again. Till next time, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching Steelers Sanctuary.
It's over.